If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it.
Reality is knocking on the door of the porta potty. The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light that is going to be dimming here in about 12 hours when Caitlin Clark is eliminated from the playoffs. I know the mainstream media...
Imagine a stadium packed with fans. Then imagine almost everyone walking out. That's basically what happened to the WNBA playoffs without Caitlin Clark on the floor. The numbers don't lie. Viewership crashed from a massive 1.8 million all the way down to just 161,000. That's not a small dip. That's a free fall. So here's the real question. Was this ever really about the league? Or was it always about one player pulling in the crowd?
Ratings for Game 1 have got to be disappointing for Kat Engelbert and the WNBA front office. There were regular season games this season where Caitlin Clark drew more than 1.8 million viewers. However, I hope Kat Engelbert is ready for disappointment because there's a hell of a lot more of it on the way. There were 3 other games in the WNBA on Sunday.
This isn't a dip. This isn't even a slide. This is a straight-up nosedive. And now, with its brightest new star missing from the game, one big question is hanging over the entire league. Is the WNBA actually in trouble?
Merchandising sales to new sponsorships to television ratings absolutely going through the roof to attendance to sellouts at basketball games to all-star games with record attendance both in person and on television. It is safe to say, North America, that the Caitlin Clark effect has taken over the WNBA.
Forget showing up. Clark walked in and rewrote the whole playbook.
WNBA ratings are embarrassing without Caitlin Clark. 0 games have sold out in the playoffs. Outside of Caitlin Clark, there was not a single game that eclipsed 500,000 viewers. Hell, they weren't even close to doing that. Once she is...
Take Clark out of the picture, and the WNBA is stuck with empty seats and ratings nobody wants to talk about. One player. That's all it took to turn the Indiana Fever from a team nobody watched into a real playoff threat. And the wildest part? She did it almost overnight.
Let's put this in its proper perspective. When I think about Caitlin Clark, the operative word that comes to my mind is gratitude.
What happens when an entire league bets everything on a single player? And what happens the moment that player is gone? That's the story we need to talk about today, because it's shaking the foundation of women's basketball. Think back to how the Indiana Fever went from a team almost nobody talked about to a genuine playoff threat. One name made that happen. One player flipped the entire script for a franchise that used to fly under the radar. And here's the thing. When people talk about what Caitlin Clark has done, the word that keeps coming up isn't impressive. It's gratitude. Because what she's given this league goes way beyond stat sheets. But here's where it gets heavy. Clark didn't just lift her own team. She forced the entire WNBA to rewrite its playbook. Just look at the attendance numbers. With Clark on the floor, the Indiana Fever led the entire league in attendance, both at home and on the road. We're talking about crowds averaging around 17,000 fans a night. That's not a typo. That's a rookie changing the math for an entire league. Then came the playoffs. In her very first postseason game, Clark became the first rookie in WNBA history to score at least 25 points, grab 5 rebounds, and hand out 5 assists in the same game. That's not just a good debut. That's history right out of the gate. Watch her on the court, and it's obvious why. She can shoot from anywhere. She can handle the ball under pressure. And her passing, it's on another level. People who've watched this league for years are running out of ways to describe what they're seeing. Across the whole postseason run, Clark was putting up 18 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block per game. Nobody, and we mean nobody, has ever put together a stat line like that in a WNBA postseason before. At this point, comparisons to Michael Jordan aren't even a stretch anymore. That's the territory we're in. And it doesn't stop at the playoffs. Her full rookie season reads like a highlight reel of records. Most points by a point guard in a single WNBA season. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard ever. Most points scored by any rookie in league history. Most assists by a rookie ever. She's also the first rookie to record 2 triple-doubles in a season, and the first rookie to ever record a triple-double, period. Before she arrived, most casual fans couldn't have told you the last time the Indiana Fever mattered. Now, people are clearing their schedules to watch them play. The records kept stacking up. Most career games with 10 or more assists by any player. Fastest player in WNBA history to hit 100 three-pointers. She got there in just 34 games. Most assists by a rookie in an all-star game, where she also pulled in more fan votes than any player in league history, over 700,000 votes. And get this, she reached 350 points and 150 assists faster than any player ever has, at any point in their career, rookie or not. That's not a rookie record anymore. That's just a record. She didn't just make her team better. She turned them into contenders overnight. But the impact goes far beyond wins and losses. What Clark brought to women's basketball as a whole. The eyes, the attention, the sheer visibility. That's the kind of thing that could shape this sport for years to come. Whether people want to admit it publicly or not, the numbers make it impossible to deny. And the numbers really do tell the story. WNBA games this season pulled in record-breaking viewership. And who were people tuning in to watch? Caitlin Clark. At this point, she's not just a player. She's become the face of an entire sport for millions of people who had never watched a single minute of women's basketball before. The league released a report recently, and the figures are staggering. Attendance was up 156% compared to the year before. More than half of all games this season were complete sellouts. Televised games averaged 1.32 million viewers, nearly triple what they were pulling in the previous season, which sat around 462,000. Online merchandise sales shattered the league's single-season record, and there were still 4 months left in the season when that happened. Sales were up 756%. Let that sink in. One player, one rookie season, and an entire league's business model got rewritten because of her. But here's where the story takes a turn. The WNBA leaned so heavily on Clark's rise that when she got knocked out of the playoffs, the league had nothing left to fall back on. And that's when the hard truth hit. You've heard the saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, the WNBA just found out the hard way what happens when you do exactly that. Let's talk numbers again, because they don't lie. Once Clark was out of the postseason, the sellout crowds vanished. Arenas that should have been electric during playoff basketball were suddenly half empty. Picture walking into a building that's supposed to be buzzing with playoff energy, and instead it feels like a ghost town. That's not a small problem. That's a warning sign flashing red. And when the crowds disappear, so does the money. The gap here isn't small, it's massive. The NBA pulls in roughly $7 billion just from television deals alone. Meanwhile, the WNBA needs around $200 million a year in support just to keep operating. That's not a gap. That's closer to the size of the Grand Canyon. Look at how lopsided things got during the season. The Indiana Fever were outdrawing nearly every other team in the league, averaging close to 16,000 fans across their games, home and away combined. One team was carrying the spotlight for the entire league. So now the real question hangs in the air. Without that spotlight, how far do the ratings fall? Nobody has a clear answer. And if you're thinking the league must have some kind of backup plan ready to go, brace yourself, because that's where things get even more surprising. The marketing strategy, or the lack of one, has left people scratching their heads. Somehow, the league never released a single national commercial featuring Caitlin Clark. On top of that, critics have slammed how the entire league promotes its stars in general. One analyst put it bluntly, take Clark out of the equation, and what's left doesn't hold up. That's a brutal wake-up call. While the league was riding the highest wave of popularity it had ever seen, it never built a safety net underneath it. So what does all of this mean for the future of women's basketball? Because this isn't just about one rough playoff stretch. This might be the turning point for the entire league. And to be fair, the hype around Clark has been real from day one. At her draft party alone, nearly 6,000 people showed up just to watch the moment happen. Picture that energy. Years ago, an event like that would have drawn a fraction of the crowd. Team stores couldn't keep merchandise on the shelves fast enough. But once she was out of the playoffs, the fan base started slipping away fast, like water leaking out of a cracked pipe. And in a world where attention translates directly into dollars, that kind of drop-off can be brutal. Some analysts are warning that millions of the fans who tuned in this season could simply switch back to watching football, and just like that, the momentum disappears. Here's the frustrating part. The league had a golden opportunity. They could have used Clark's massive spotlight to introduce fans to other players, build new storylines, and create rivalries that would keep people watching even on nights she wasn't on the court. Instead, they put nearly everything into one basket, and now they're dealing with the fallout. So where does the WNBA go from here? The answer might surprise you, because this isn't about a quick fix. This is about a real, structural shift in how the entire league operates. Start with marketing. It's time to spread the spotlight around. Even with everything Clark has done for the league's visibility, some of the most dominant teams in the WNBA still can't draw 500,000 viewers for a playoff game. That has to change. Imagine a league where every single team has its own identity, its own storylines, and its own passionate fan base, where rivalries create buzz even on nights when the biggest stars are resting. That's the version of this league that could actually thrive long-term. Next, the player pipeline. The WNBA cannot afford to just sit around and wait for the next Caitlin Clark to magically appear. Teams need to be scouting, developing, and building the next wave of stars right now. Picture a league where every single team has a player who makes you want to tune in. That's the goal. And then there's the money. In its current form, the WNBA is projected to bring in around $200 million this year. Compare that to the NBA's estimated $13 billion. For years, the WNBA has reportedly lost close to $10 million per season. If the league wants long-term stability, it can't keep relying only on TV contracts and ticket sales. It needs new partnerships, stronger merchandise strategy, and creative ways to bring in revenue beyond game night. Because here's the truth. Fans need reasons to care beyond a single player, a single game, or a single season. That means building real team identities. That means rivalries with actual stakes. That means giving fans something to look forward to, even when their favorite star has an off night. So now the real question comes back around. Is women's professional basketball at risk of losing the momentum it just built? Or can the WNBA actually stand on its own, without depending on one single superstar to carry the entire league? That's the debate happening right now across the basketball world, and there's no easy answer yet. So here's what we want to know from you. If you were running this league, what would you do differently? Would you spend more on marketing every single team? Would you focus on building rivalries? Or is there something else entirely that could save the WNBA's momentum? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear how you'd fix this. And if you found this breakdown interesting, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because there's a lot more happening in this story, and you won't want to miss what comes next.